Okay, Andy White here from Recruitment Marketing International. So we've got a few questions here around saturation in the market. So essentially, we believe we've saturated the niche we're in. We want to expand the niche. So I'm going to take this from two different angles. One is I'm going to take it from we are frustrated with where we are and we want to open up the niche. And two is I'm going to take it from a lesson that I've seen over the years, probably 80-90% of the time that a business gets to seven figures, this is what happens. So I'll take the latter first. So when we work with a business, so a recruiter who's then set up their own recruitment business, or the recruitment business owner who's been running for 10 years, they've reached the ceiling. When that business hits seven figures, so they break seven figures, I'm talking about revenue here. So we want to have a profit of around about 70 to mid 80%. So you're talking about 700, 250,000 profit pre-tax if you're hitting seven figures. You don't need a big team, which I've covered in other videos and other trainings, and maybe I'll do some more. If you want more on that, let me know. But I'm going to focus on when a business hits seven figures, and let's say that business has been at, say, 300K for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and sort of the odd year we hit 500,000, then it goes down to 200K. But we've got this sort of mid-level ceiling up and down that happens. So when they hit seven figures, most of the time that business owner will say to me, Andy, listen, it's been a fantastic year. Now I want to go into a new niche. And virtually every single time I'll say no. And if I take two extremes, one example is I think of a member who had hit seven figures, and the process that we would bring on board clients was a monthly campaign, so around once a month. Each time that campaign ran, it brought in six figures. And at the end of the year, when we went through, it was early the following year, when we went through the numbers, and that member said, right, Andy, I want to keep this niche running, but go into a completely new niche in a completely different continent as well. And by the way, they've done a hell of a lot of good research on this. It was almost a Chinese proverb, the man who catches two rabbits catches none. But here's the thing, when I looked at his market, I said, right, we're working in a market whereby there are hundreds of thousands of potential decision makers who you can provide candidates for. The candidate piece we've got in place very, very well. So we need to make sure we can keep getting the clients in place. Then we had a process, as I say, that ran monthly. When we looked at his figures, I can't remember exactly, but I think we'd covered 4% of the market. I.e., if he kept running the same process over and over again, he's got 96% of the market he's yet to get through by running the same thing. So why are we going to a new niche? Well, I'm an entrepreneur. I've started businesses, had no success. Started others, boom. So I think what happens when we get something working, and entrepreneurs, we are a very special breed. If anybody who's not been an entrepreneur and you have a conversation around it, they just don't get it, and they never will. They never get the blood, sweat and tears. They never get the elation that happens. They never get the fact that in your mind you may say, right, I'm doing 200K, I want to get to 500,000. But when you're at 400K, you're already thinking about, I want to get to 1 million. You never stop to celebrate. And we don't do it as entrepreneurs. It's very, very debilitating to your growth. Because often, as in this case, all we need to do is repeat what we've done, almost like a rinse and repeat model to get big numbers. But something happens in our brain because we're entrepreneurs and we want that next level. So I'm a massive believer I don't believe in a business plan with 100 pages. I believe in a 3-year vision, a 1-year plan, 90-day plan, 30-day plan, 7-day plan, a daily plan that hits a set of metrics. If you do that, you know exactly what needs to happen every single day. So when we get to that seven figures in the year, often the member will say, right, I want to go into a new niche, and I'll say no. So the first thing is to know that. Know that you're going to probably say that to yourself. I want to go into a new niche. But then say to your old self, what would I do to have a $1 million business that if I keep running it, it will probably 2x or 3x next year with just a few tweaks? If I add in a couple of new roles in the business, if I change my role in the business, would you take that now? Of course you would. So you've got to be very aware of what you're creating here. Now the second one is, if we're in a business right now, and there can be extremes again, we've had business owners in a niche where there are just 42 candidates in one of their sub niches, just 42. However, that same business owner became the highest paid in, I believe at the time, the entire world in the veterinary space, the highest paid in the entire world for their fees. And when this started off, I remember we were doing a group coaching call, and that member came on, and the member said, right, Andy, I want to go retained. What do I need to do? Well, check out this module, but I'll also just tell you what to do. Just do it. And there are reasons why you get retained business, as I've covered in other videos, but essentially your client wants an exchange of value, i.e. they want the least amount of time involved for them with the highest quality candidate with the biggest payoff from that candidate for the longest period of time, i.e. the candidate's going to do what they want and more, stay with them for a long time, and they want to spend as little time as possible as part of the process. They're willing to pay for that. And with this particular member, I can't remember, there's either 2 or 3 roles, and we've got a hot seat where she shares a story. And she said to the client, this is my fee, and it was about midday. And they said, well, we don't pay that much. Just sit tight, Laura. Anyway, about 5 to 6 or whatever the end of the day was, or the cut-off point was, she gets a call, right, we're in. So with our niche, often we want to expand our niche because we haven't got the revenue figures that we want. So often, expanding a niche isn't the answer. And one of the misnomers that's been created in recruitment over the years, but most businesses over the years, is the bigger the net, the better we're going to do. It's actually the other way around. The more niched we are, the better we're going to do. However, it means you really need to up your game in terms of your delivery. And that really covers 2 things. One is, I've said in every single video, you're probably sick of hearing this, but listen, it's the fundamentals that create big businesses. Keep it simple. Is we know who our client is, we know which candidates they need, we've got all the candidates inside our ecosystem, i.e. our CRM, and then we nurture them. So with this member, one of the things that this member was doing, it was a highly niched area. And one of the things that this member did is, right from when these specialists graduated from their not university, I can't remember what it's called, but on-site training with vets, she'd then be at the events whereby they network and they're open to other clients. She'd be at the event and essentially nurture them, and she'd book appointments with them. And then we had a monthly webinar whereby a speaker would come aboard this monthly webinar, and speaker might be, for example, sharing the latest tool inside that veterinary space for that particular type of vet. So if there are only 42 candidates and there's a new tool in that area, and there's only, say, 42 candidates in the entire niche, and they've got a new tool that all 42 want to know about, Laura's providing a webinar every month about something specialist. Very quickly, she becomes a leader. Very, very quickly. She's also got all of them inside her data set. She's also nurturing them automatically. So with that niche, the fees double. And we're talking about, by the way, a 7-figure business. And it is on you might see it out on one of our podcasts or on a website. It was from per quarter doing, I think around about 30K per quarter to doing $250,000. So that's a really extreme answer around niche. However, it's also being aware of, right, what business have I got here? Have I got a transactional business where essentially I want to press an automated button and get inbound responses? Or do I really want to up my game here? And both of those work. So we've had other members who've hit 7 figures, and they're in the temp space, i.e. the space whereby you're dealing with sandwich makers or you're dealing with factory workers. So the role will come in and they need 30 sandwich makers. And the fee is going to be a temp fee, i.e. if the candidate's getting paid £9 an hour, the agency will get paid £3 an hour. So very quickly, if you times that by hundreds, you've got a very, very good business. So that's transactional. On the other hand, Laura just gave you an extreme example of, she's got a very niche down one. So expanding a niche, you've really got to think about, what's my outcome here? So there isn't an answer without actually really understanding what your niche is. But what I would say generally is getting clarity on what your niche is. So what industry am I in? So for example, if you said I'm investment banking, right, so that may be the industry you're in. What's the vertical inside investment banking? It's IT. Okay, let's take it down another level. Let's slice it horizontally. In IT, what are you covering? I'm covering development. Okay, let's take it down another level. What are you covering? Is it front office? Is it back office? See where we're going with this? So then you get very clear on what your niche is. And again, it needs to be reflected on your website, on your LinkedIn profile, simple things, but in your campaigns. So usually with niche, if you're looking to expand your niche, most of the time, it's actually the wrong answer. And all you're going to do is going to go through 24 hours, 40 hours of internal relief saying, I know what I need to do. I need to expand the niche. What was I thinking? The niche is so small. No, wrong answer. Wrong answer. It's usually the opposite. And what it comes down to is deep down inside, you know you've not nailed it. You know that you've not done if you know you're not the best in that niche, you know that your delivery process for getting candidates isn't the best in a niche, and we're taking a subconscious out, but someone else who does this is going to win. So I've covered on other videos around, you can dictate what the fees are. You can dictate what the timeline to get paid is. Remember, your client wants an exchange of value. They do not want to spend time dealing with 10 recruitment agencies. They do not want to spend time with a preferred suppliers list of 8 companies. They don't want to spend time posting jobs and then filtering through hundreds of CVs. They want to have one partner who they can rely on every single time, and they will pay a lot more, double, if you can give that candidate. So niche, the answer generally isn't about niching up. It's usually about niching down. It's usually about niching down. So with that said, the lady, Laura, 42 candidates, one of 7 niches. That became then other sub niches, etc. But we've got a process we can rinse and repeat because we've absolutely nailed it. So normally niching, I'm going to niche up. Most of the time, we're taking an out. Psychologically, we're taking an out. We're getting what we think is an easy way out. But actually what we're doing is we are just pausing pain. We're going to fuck up later, have a bigger niche. We're going to have more numbers to deal with. We're going to have roles coming in from one type of sub niche. We're going to have candidates in another type of sub niche. It's like, damn, we haven't got a match. So I then need to go out manually and try and find these candidates, which means we stop bringing clients in, and then we've got another glass ceiling. So this goes back to day one. What's your outcome? What's your outcome? So the answer is usually, if you're in that pain now, I'm going to niche up, it's usually wrong. If you've hit your dream outcome, say if you're a one-man, one-woman business, hit 7 figures, going to go to a new niche, usually, not always, the wrong decision. But again, depends on your market and your metrics. This is Andy Whitehead. Stay strong. Speak soon.